Hello everyone, welcome to another movie review. I just got done seeing The Batman, saw an early screening. Thank you AMC for doing an early screening for a big movie like this. I love it. Anytime I get to see something extra early, it's awesome. Yeah, anybody could have went to see this. It's just you had to buy the tickets fast enough, obviously. Yeah, I was lucky enough to get a good ticket. It was an IMAX showing. I had no control over that, but it's fine. I highly recommend seeing this in IMAX, by the way. Don't have to, but it was nice. Yeah, so I'm not going to talk spoilers until the end of the video, obviously, as usual, so I will warn you beforehand, and, yeah, I just noticed there's a guy parked, like, somewhat in front of me, and he's, like, so crooked, it's ridiculous. I might show you, I don't know, I might forget. Anyways, so yeah, tons of people are leaving the theater right now. But yeah, this movie's 3 hours, and, man, I didn't really feel the runtime until towards the end. And me personally, a lot of you guys know this already, I don't mind long movies. I actually kind of prefer when movies longer. That way you can tell the full story you want to tell and not have to rush things or whatever. And this movie definitely needed to be long. My only complaint with it, though, is, like I said, towards the third act, I kind of felt a little bit of dragging. Just a little bit. But I guess it was necessary. I think it was fine. It wasn't bad or anything. And the final sequence, action sequence, I guess you could say, was good, but I don't know, something about it felt weird, and I'll just elaborate that more in the spoiler section. So yeah, but anyways, aside from that, this movie honestly was fucking amazing. It was so good, like seriously. I think this is the best Batman movie yet. Now, I still think The Dark Knight is a better movie, obviously, because that's an amazing movie. The best movie with Batman in it is The Dark Knight, but the best Batman movie is this movie. Does that make sense to you guys? This movie was, like, so good. Like, the detective work with Batman, the darkness, the atmosphere of Gotham, this really... Honestly, I think he wears the Batman costume more on screen than he does not wear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's more Batman than Bruce Wayne in this movie, like, for a lot of it. Whereas in the previous versions, obviously he's unmasked a lot, but, man, this really, truly was a Batman movie, and I really loved a lot of it. We got to see a lot of stuff we haven't seen in other previous versions. I guess I'll go over my thoughts on the other Batman incarnations we've had. The people next to me are getting in their cars, kind of weird. I think they just looked at me like, what are you doing? Yeah, so the previous Batman. So first, the Adam West stuff. I've never seen the old 60s Adam West Batman, so I don't know anything about that. But Michael Keaton Batman. So the two Tim Burton movies, I think they're pretty good. I haven't seen them in years, though. Those are fine. Those are good movies. They're fine for what they are. They're very iconic and memorable. Then we have the Joel Schumacher movies, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, which Batman and Robin's god-awful. Batman Forever is, it's got Jim Carrey as the Riddler and Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face going over the top, so, like, I guess that's okay. And Val Kilmer was alright as Batman. But Batman Forever is not a good movie either. And then the Dark Knight trilogy, which... honestly, those are big shoes to fill, okay? So I'm assuming this Batman movie is going to be the start of a new franchise. And the Dark Knight trilogy, all three films are 10 out of 10s for me. I know people like to pick on The Dark Knight Rises because there's that big plot hole about how did Batman get back into Gotham when everything was on lockdown? You know what I mean? And there's other problems in that movie, I guess, people have. But to me, they're all 10 out of 10s, with, The Dark Knight obviously being the best one. So those are big shoes to fill, okay? Now, when I was going into this movie, obviously you have Matt Reeves directing this. And Matt Reeves has made Cloverfield, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes, which I love all those movies. Now, this is how I equate this. So, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was incredible. It was a great movie. But I thought War for the Planet of the Apes, his second film he did afterwards, was a masterpiece. Like, I thought it was a masterpiece. So whereas this movie, I don't see it as a masterpiece, I really want to, I feel like the next film will be his masterpiece. It'll be the same situation. You get what I'm saying? Like, the first Apes movie he did was fantastic, but the second one was even better. So I think that's what's going to happen here. Because like I said, I had those few little problems with the third act. I mean, everything was like spot on though. Like the acting all around was great. Robert Pattinson's fantastic, obviously. Love him in Good Time and The Lighthouse. Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman was incredibly good. Like I loved Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, but Zoe Kravitz like had like an extra layer, an extra like edge to her. I never bothered with the Halle Berry Catwoman because, obviously that's terrible, so I never watched it. So yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, in Batman Returns is pretty good too, but like I said, I haven't seen that movie in years. So the Penguin, Colin Farrell was excellent. He's going to be getting his own TV show on HBO Max apparently as the Penguin, which that's pretty cool. I like that. You have John Turturro in there as Falcone. Awesome, of course. He was the Jesus in Big Lebowski. And who else was in there? So you had also as Gordon was Jeffrey Wright. And Jeffrey Wright was awesome as Gordon. Like Jeffrey Wright's great in everything, But again, to me, I'm biased. Gary Oldman's one of my favorite actors, period. One of the greatest of all time. His Gordon is perfect to me. Like, that'll never be topped. But Jeffrey Wright as Gordon is pretty damn good. Like, he gives him a run for his money. And the chemistry between Gordon and Batman, this might be the best we've seen of it yet. Like, they share a lot of scenes together in this. And, man, Paul Dano as the Riddler, wow. This guy was incredibly good. He was terrifying. Man, he was scary. He was intimidating. It was, Jesus Christ. This is like a Riddler we've never seen before. Like I mentioned earlier, Jim Carrey is the Riddler. Man, like nothing compared. Like this is on another level. Yeah, man. All the casting was great. So also we had Andy Serkis as Alfred again from Planet of the Apes. They got that connection. He was good as Alfred. He was. He did a good job. Wasn't in the movie too much, but again, Michael Caine is like perfect Alfred. That's another thing with the Dark Knight trilogy. Like Christopher Nolan nailed the casting on pretty much everybody. I don't know. Like Christian Bale as Batman is great, obviously, but like Robert Pattinson was really dark, and I really like that. Like I really love the dark side of Batman. Man, so like I said, this movie, I had a couple minor issues. I want to give this a 10 out of 10. I really do. I don't know. Man, I just might go 9.5 out of 10. I feel bad though, because like I really want this movie to be like perfect. I didn't go in with like crazy expectations. Like I knew it was gonna be good. Like I just knew it, so I didn't try to hype myself up. I knew it was gonna be, So yeah, I think I might go 9.5 out of 10 on this, just because that third act, I don't know, something happened there where I kind of disconnected a little bit. But I don't know, maybe on subsequent rewatches I might give it a 10. But I'm going to say a 9.5 out of 10 on this. Like I said, I think this is the best Batman movie. Like, it was so good. It really was. And again, don't confuse it with the Dark Knight trilogy. Those are all 10 out of 10s for me. But this one, in terms of a Batman story and narrative, was the best in terms of that. But in terms of movies, those are better. Those are just better movies. But yeah, man, this was really good. It felt like a film noir. It was very dark and gritty, and it was so good. It really was. But yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say that's not a spoiler. I will say too, Matt Reeves, I'm sure Warner Brothers got him on a multi-picture deal. He's going to be coming back for sequels and whatnot, and I don't know what could happen from here. I hope there's more. I hope it's at least a trilogy. There's probably going to be spin-offs, like I said. I know they're doing the Penguin show. But we'll see what happens. It's not cartoony in any way. That's another thing. So, like, the Joel Schumacher movies, like, it's nothing like that. Like, the Dark Knight trilogy was very gritty and real, but this was even more gritty and real. Like, I don't even know, like, I'm trying to think. The most cartoony thing in the Dark Knight trilogy is probably Scarecrow, but that was still kind of realistic, like the fear toxin, I guess that could happen in real life, but I don't know, like, I don't see them doing anything remotely cartoony in this universe now. I don't know. It was so good though. Like it really was. It was very riveting. Like it really. I'm sure everybody's gonna see it anyways. And there's also the question of like, it's PG-13. Could this have benefited from an R rating? Yes, of course. But I think it's fine as PG-13. I feel like they really pushed the edge on the PG-13. Again, R could have been, man. I'm just picturing the brutality that Riddler could have had. This Riddler was brutal, man. Like I'm telling you guys. Yeah, I just can't wait. I can't wait to see more. Like I don't know what the plan is, but I'm gonna sit on 9.5 out of 10. I don't know if I'm gonna rewatch it anytime soon. I know it's gonna hit HBO Max or something after like a month or two or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, guys, go see this movie. Like, it was fucking great. So, and I gotta mention too, my favorite DC thing is the Batman universe. You know what I mean? My favorite DC character is Harley Quinn, but like, she's part of that universe. Like, the entire Batman rogues gallery of villains and the city of Gotham and Arkham Asylum and all that stuff, that's what I love. I'm not a huge DC guy, but like, that Batman universe alone rivals all of Marvel, in my opinion, to me at least. Like, it rivals it. Like, I love that world. And there's been different versions, like I said, over the years. And this is gonna, if this turns into a trilogy, depending on how the sequels go, it might enhance this movie to being like a 10 out of 10 or something. Like, it has potential. So, like, I don't know. Right now, the Dark Knight trilogy is, like perfection to me. But this is a very good contender, and I can't wait to see more. And, yeah, I think that wraps up the non-spoiler section. I'm trying to think if I forgot about anything. Anything specific. Yeah, no, I think that's it. So, I gotta say, too, the music was so good. Oh, my God. It was so good. Man, like, the filmmaking in this... That's another edge I got to give over the Dark Knight trilogy. The filmmaking in this was so good. Like, the camera work and the cinematography. Like, Christopher Nolan's great, obviously, but, like, Matt Reeves, man, he's got an eye for this sort of stuff. Like, man, it was so good. Like, it was so fucking good. There was one scene that was so well done. It's a car chase involving the Penguin, and they showed some of it in the trailers. That scene is probably my favorite scene in the movie. Like, just the whole way that scene played out and finished. I got a little bit misty-eyed at how well it was done. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I was like, holy shit, this came out so good. Yeah, guys, it was that good, honestly. Can I go 9.75 out of 10? I think I might just do that. This will be my first 9 3/4 review. How about that? Yeah. Isn't that from Harry Potter? Platform 9 3/4? Or is that a different number? 9 3/4, right? I don't know. I could be wrong. But yeah, guys. So good filmmaking. Like, seriously. Oh, my God. That's what I mean by, like, if Matt Reeves does a sequel, like, he knows he's already done this one, so now he's got the experience with this world. He could even push the limits more. Sort of like how, Batman Begins and then The Dark Knight. Like, that transition, like, The Dark Knight's obviously better, so, like, you know what I mean? It'll be like that. Man, so good. So fucking good. But yeah, I think that's it now. So, spoiler time. So leave the video. The movie's not even out yet, so, like, don't watch this until Thursday night or Friday, whatever. Whenever you go see this. Yeah, so spoilers. Leave the video. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to talk about. I'm sure it's the first thing everybody's going to talk about. So, there was rumors about Barry Cohegan, who played Druig in Eternals. And he was in that movie too, The Killing of a Sacred Deer, which also had Colin Farrell. Which is a fucking weird movie, by the way. I watched it a couple weeks ago. That was a very strange movie. There was rumors that he was going to be playing the Joker in this movie. I don't know how that leaked, but yeah, it's true. He does show up at the end. That was a little bit tacked on, if you ask me. Like, I know it's DC and I almost said Marvel. DC and Warner Brothers. They obviously want to include something, to set up something. Like, okay, you know how at the end of Batman Begins, they just show the Joker card? That's perfect. That's all you got to do. But this one, it felt a little bit like, all right, they're tacking this on. Like, you know what I mean? It felt out of place. But it was fine. It was a fine scene. It was okay. and he looked disfigured. Like, he looked fucked up, and I can't wait to see him play the Joker, because he's a great actor. He was also in The Green Knight. I haven't seen him in a lot of stuff, but yeah, I'm looking forward to his portrayal. So it looks like he probably fell in the vat of acid or something, because his skin was, like, messed up. So obviously they're setting up that. So probably the next film's going to be Joker. So just like the Dark Knight trilogy, the second one's going to have the Joker. So, yeah, and I got to say, the third act. So my issue with the third act was after Riddler's apprehended, and then it just starts dragging on. Like, it felt like that last action set piece was just tacked on also, you know? But it had its place. Like, it really showed, like, how much of a hero Batman truly is, and they really, like, put him in a good light at the end of this film. Like, they made him look like a true hero, and he made that transition from, like, I'm vengeance to, like, I'm actually, you know, I'm more than that. So it had its place. It was a good scene. The freaking shotgun to the chest scared the shit out of me, but, like, yeah, something about it just felt tacked on. Like, we need to have a big action thing at the end, so, like, here you go. But other than that, the rest of the movie was freaking, like, perfection. Like, honestly. So, yeah, other spoilers, I thought Alfred was going to die in that scene, but at first I was like, man, if they're going to set up a universe, why kill Alfred off in the first movie? I don't know about that. I was very worried. Like, the tension was real. It felt like a horror movie in certain parts, mostly because of Riddler. And other spoilers, Falcone's Catwoman's dad. I don't remember if that's like a thing in other versions. I can't remember. But yeah, there's not much to spoil, honestly. Like, the trailers, I should have mentioned this too. The trailers sort of like gave away a few things. Like, when the Riddler gets apprehended, like, they actually showed that in the trailer. Like, okay, I don't know if they needed to do that, but also the scene of I'm trying to think. I thought there was another thing that happened that was like in a trailer, and it shouldn't have been in a trailer. I don't know. Like, they just shouldn't have shown him get apprehended. Like, that was kind of weird. But yeah, Paul Dano was really good as Riddler, like I said. And yeah, I don't know if there's any other spoilers, really. Like, it's a pretty straightforward movie. So yeah, I mean, the big one is the Joker. That's the big spoiler, and I already talked about it. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the movie in the comments. If you have any spoilers, don't mention them. Put a spoiler tag or something, or just wait till Friday, whatever. Yeah, so 9.75. I'll go with that. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and have a good one. I can't wait to own this movie and watch it a bunch more times. It's 3 hours, but, yeah, it was so good. All right, thank you guys for watching, and have a good one. Bye-bye.